Pistons lose game 4, 94-88, and fall behind 3-1. And basically a must-win game. And I don't want to say the series is over because technically it's not, but it is, right? Like, if the Pistons end up coming back and winning the series, I don't think anyone would see that coming, to be completely honest with you, just because there's so many issues that this team has right now that the Magic has been able to exploit multiple different times. It took an insane defensive performance in game number 2 to even win that game, to dominate. It took a 30-3 run in order to win that game. It was a close game before that happened. Obviously, the Pistons were able to blow them out after that point, but there's just so many issues, and the biggest issue right now, in my opinion, is the shooting for this team. This team doesn't have any spacing whatsoever. This team cannot shoot the ball. This team just really packs the paint, and defensively, the Magic does the same exact thing. And because of that, it causes a ton of turnovers. That is another massive issue. But Trajan Langdon going all off season without really totally addressing the shooting issue is something that I think a lot of fans are going to kind of look back on and wonder like what this team could have been. Now, obviously, this team won 60 games, and that was good enough for obviously the number 1 seed. But this is a Magic team that's fully figured out this Pistons team, is that they're going to force the Pistons to make shots. They're also going to send 2 or 3 guys at Cade Cunningham, and that's the second biggest issues. Obviously, Jalen Duren has been a massive, massive disappointment. He's been an absolutely huge issue. I'm almost going to say that I think you send a message going into game 5 and maybe even start Isaiah Stewart. Now, obviously, in the NBA, you don't really send messages anymore to quote-unquote your star players, to the players that you're supposed to really rely on in these series, and he hasn't been reliable at all. Like, he hasn't been playing a ton of minutes, and even when he has been playing, he hasn't been playing well. Isaiah Stewart is giving harder effort than him. I think Isaiah Stewart is playing better than what Jalen Duren has for a majority of this series. But you don't send messages anymore to these quote-unquote star players that want to get paid millions of dollars, that want to get max contracts. I don't think he obviously deserves at this point. If he's a big part of this comeback, maybe he deserves it. Maybe you pay it. But I think it goes back to obviously not only that, but the fact that Trajan Langdon, again, did not address the major shooting issues that this team has. Now, he did go and sign like a Duncan Robinson. He did go and trade for a Kevin Huerter. Well, Kevin Huerter isn't making shots right now. He's not playing. Duncan Robinson, he's been decent. He struggled in game number 4, but he's been decent. But, like, you really only have a select few guys. Like, Asher Thompson struggles shooting the ball. Tobias Harris went 0 for 5 in this game. And obviously, Tobias Harris is not the biggest issue. He is nowhere close to the biggest issue. I think Tobias Harris has been probably the most consistent player on this team throughout this whole run so far. But this Pistons team does not have any shooters or very many shooters that allows the Magic to pack the paint. It forces them to send 2 or 3 guys to Cade Cunningham. And when Cade Cunningham, obviously in transition, can't get points, 25 points, 7 for 23, 3 for 11, 9 rebounds. Like, Cade has scored, but a lot of those have been tough shots, have been contested shots, have been in transition. And guess what? He had another game where 8 turnovers. He's had 24 turnovers in 3 games. That is absolutely unacceptable. Your star cannot be doing that. And I understand the fact that they're sending 2 or 3 guys at Cade Cunningham at a time. Several different points. He attacks the paint. There's 2 or 3 guys right there. I understand that it's difficult. I understand that turnovers sometimes come from that, but you cannot have a NBA record with 24 turnovers in 3 games. But then also it goes back to the same point of there's no spacing. There is absolutely no spacing. So I do want to completely blame Cade Cunningham. No, I'm not going to completely blame Cade Cunningham. I think he's a big part of it. I think him, Jalen Duren, and then you also have JB Bickerstaff. I think his kind of rotations, especially at the end of game four, was really wonky. I don't think JB Bickerstaff has had the best coaching in this series. And I think if you talk about like the totem pole of kind of blame, do I think he's at the top? No, I don't. I think it's about really your star players. I think it's about your GM, and I think a lot of people are really frustrated for right reasons. And do I think JB Bickerstaff should be fired after this? No, I don't. I think the Pistons absolutely need to go get another star. They need to go get more shooting. They need to get someone around Cade Cunningham. And if that means paying Jalen Duren less, if that means not giving him the max contract, so be it. At this point, Jalen Duren has played so poorly that I don't care what happened in the regular season. Because, yes, you know what? 60 games is great. Jalen Duren was elite during the regular season. What matters now is the playoffs. What matters in the end of things is the playoffs. You can go undefeated in the regular season and then go out like this in the first round to an 8 seed. No one's going to care. No one's going to remember the 70 wins or 80 wins or 60 wins or whatever happens. What people are going to remember is that this is a Pistons team that, yes, they're going up against a Magic team that heading into the series did not play a ton of games together. They were not 100% healthy. This is not your typical 8 seed. This might be like a 3 or 4 seed, kind of. But at the end of the day, you are the 1 seed. You've won 60 games this year. Figure out you need your backup guy, quote unquote star in Jalen Duren to step up. He has not. Cade Cunningham has been turning the ball over, and some of those are his fault. Some of them are not his fault. Shooting wise, big issue. You need to figure out ways to not only hit shots, ways to extend the floor, and that's the only issue. Is there's really not anything there. And if you win game five, you obviously end up going back to Orlando. You have to win a game there, which has been relatively competitive. You've only lost by 6, but it's been the Magic kind of extending the lead at the very end. The Pistons fight all the way back, look like they're going to have a little bit of momentum, look like they're going to have a chance, and then you give up too much at the end. You get too tired, and at the end of the things, you can't come back. So, yeah, it's not officially over, but I think for a lot of Pistons fans, it truly is over, and it doesn't even feel like it because I don't see this team winning 3 consecutive games. And if I'm wrong, I will admit it. But at this point, with the way that your stars playing with turnovers, the way that your other star is absolutely beyond unbelievable, just overall effort, you need to send a message. And unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be a message said. I think the Pistons might win game 5, but I don't see this game getting to game 7. Even if you do, it would be the most Pistons way to lose a series and losing at home in game 7. But yeah, just really, really frustrating, really disappointing. And I think we're going to probably see this series end in either game 5 or game 6. I don't, like I said, see it get into game 7, but let me know your thoughts. Let me know your frustrations. If this is something you like, feel free to like, subscribe, comment as well. More Pistons content coming up. Probably will be one more recap, maybe 2 at the most, but if that doesn't happen, maybe we might be talking about a comeback here, but going to take a lot. And I think the Magic kind of has the Pistons figured out right now.